As part of the email you would have received with your employment offer, you may have also noticed a few ATC policies attached as well. These are just a few of the company documents that will be available to you once you get access to the online employee portal shortly following your induction day. The Apprentice and Trainee Handbook, a document you are expected to read, will also be available via the portal. We wanted to highlight these specific policies today as they are some of the more important and relevant policies to you as you start at the ATC. First is the Workplace Health and Safety Policy. This, put simply, outlines how the physical and mental health of all our employees is our number one priority. It also goes into detail about how we try to do this. If you ever were to have an incident at work, the Rehabilitation and Return to Work policy covers that. It goes into detail about how all of our employees are encouraged and supported to make a safe return to work as early as possible. It explains the programs we put into place, as well as the people who will be there to assist you to make sure you aren't being put into situations where you might, for example, re-aggravate an injury. Next is the Respect at Work policy. This is an important one at AI Group over the last year, as it has been updated to cover a lot of ground. What it is a policy that discusses how certain behaviors are considered both unsafe and unlawful. This policy covers behavior at AI Group directly, as well as with third parties we work with, such as hosts and RTOs. Some of these unsafe and unlawful behaviors include things such as harassment, sexual harassment, bullying, and victimization, just to name a few. Engaging in these behaviors is unacceptable, but we also talk about how if you witness these kinds of things happening to others, you must report it. I'll move ahead now to the Code of Conduct, as it is closely tied to the Respect at Work policy. It basically outlines the expectations of you as employees of AI Group and the kinds of behaviors that are considered acceptable. It can also help with your decision-making framework if you ever find yourself in difficult situations. The social media policy is fairly straightforward. It essentially talks about how all AI Group employees are encouraged to use social media responsibly and privately. You represent the ATC and your host employer when you are online, so please be careful with the things you post or like on social media. Certain activities could result in disciplinary action, which we obviously do not want to happen, so please be responsible online. The leave policy is also quite simple. It just outlines all the types of leave that are available to you, such as annual leave, personal or sick leave, as well as many others. It also explains how you can apply for that leave. I'll now jump back to the grievance resolution policy and procedure, as we want to go into a bit more detail with that one. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable to raise any grievances about your host employer, RTO, or even the ATC if needed. This policy outlines how you can actually raise a complaint and how the ATC will aim to resolve it in a prompt, impartial, and above all, a confidential manner. If you do have a grievance, you will need to initially raise it with your ETC, who can then escalate it to our people and culture team, otherwise known as HR. But if you don't wish to go through your ETC, you can get in touch with members of the ATC leadership or people and culture teams. You can do this by calling the 1300 number on the screen now and asking to speak with any of the following people, or you can send them an email. So that was Peter Nolan, the head of the ATC, Belle Hayes, who is our employee experience manager, and Claire Inglis, who is our contact in the people and culture team. So if you're ever unsure about anything I have spoken about today, you can go back and look through the company documents once you gain access to your employee portal, or you can always ask your ETC. Thanks so much for your time.